This handout on metric conversions has a lesson for 2 different days. So we're just going to do the first part, which is called moving the decimal point. First of all, I just want to say if you already know how to convert and you never make a mistake, go ahead and convert the way that you understand. I'm going to show you a method that if you've done conversions before and you have made mistakes, this is a foolproof way that you don't make a mistake. So this is moving the decimal point. This is not for something more difficult. It's just if I'm going from like centimeters to meters, so I'm just measuring length and something like that. Okay, so I have 9.7 centimeters, and I want to know how many meters there are. So the way you do this is what you do first is you look at each unit. So this is centimeter and this is a meter. So I look at the prefix. So this prefix, centi, that's a prefix that means 10 to the negative 2. So I look at the scientific notation on my physics formula sheet, and I looked at centi means 10 to the negative 2 power. So it's 10 to the negative 2. So above it, I'm just going to write negative 2. In front of this meter, there's nothing. There's no prefix, so I'm just going to put a 0. Now, I'm going to look at my number line. So I have 0, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2. Now, first of all, I'm going to think about the number line, and I'm going to think, what is the difference between negative 2 and 0? So the difference between negative 2 and 0 is 2. So that tells me that I am going to move my decimal point 2 places. Now, the place where people usually make a mistake is, do I move to the left or do I move to the right? So this is what you're going to memorize so you never make a mistake. If I am going from a smaller number to a larger number, I'm going to move to the left. So a way you might remember that is SLL. If I'm moving from a larger number to a smaller number, I'm going to move to the right. So LSR. So this is what I'm going to memorize. So what does that mean here? So I know I have to move 2 decimal places, and in this case, I see that negative 2 is less than 0. So I'm moving from a smaller to a larger, so a smaller to the larger is the left. So here's my decimal point, 1, 2, so my answer is 0.097. Again, if you already know how to do it, do what you know how to do. But if you've ever made mistakes moving the decimal point the wrong way, this is a foolproof system. Okay, now we're going to look at our homework for tonight. So our homework is a different sheet. Here it is. And the part with the scientific method, that's easy. And now we're going to look at the bottom part. So the bottom part, I'm going to work a couple of the examples. Now there's some that people make mistakes on, so those I'm going to work a couple of those. And all right, so let's look at some of these examples let's actually start working on the homework. So let's look at number 5. So number 5 says 76.2, and it says P. Well, 76.2, P is a prefix that means pico, and I want to know how many meters that's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I am going to look at my chart, and I see that pico means 10 to the negative 12. Okay? So I'm going to put here negative 12. Then I'm going to look over here, and it's meter, so it's 0. So I know the difference between negative 12 and 0 is 12, so I'm going to move 12 decimal places. And then on a number line, 12 is smaller, so I'm going from a smaller to a larger, and I know that when I move from a smaller to a larger, that I move to the left. Now, the reason I chose this is where a lot of people make a mistake. So now if I'm going to move 12 places to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, my answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 6, 2. Or I would put it in correct scientific notation, 6.72 times 10 to the negative 11. So on a test or a quiz, you might say, oh, that can't be right. I must go the other way. But no, that's the correct answer. All right. Now let's look at, we'll do the ones where people commonly make mistakes on the homework. So let's flip over to the back, and well, let's do some of these ones down here. So we'll look at number 25. So number 25 says 250 kilometers, and I want to know how many centimeters that is. So kilo is a prefix. Remember, you're going to look at your chart here. So kilo is 10 to the plus 3, and centi is the negative 2. Now this is again where people make a mistake. You need to picture a number line. So on a number line, you go negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So the difference between positive 3 and negative 2 is, the difference is 5. So I'm going to move 5 decimal places. Now, I'm going here from a larger to a smaller. So when I move from a larger to a smaller, I move to the right. So I have 250 kilometers, and now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is going to be 250, and then I'm going to add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that would be 2.5 times 10 to the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops, because for correct scientific notation, you have one integer to the left of the decimal point. One where people always make a lot of mistakes is going to be number 30, believe it or not. So I have 6.5 centimeters, and now I want to know what that is in millimeters. So remember that centi means 10 to the negative 2, and milli is 10 to the negative 3. So I know I'm going to move 1 decimal point, but people always move the wrong way. So that's why we memorize, in this particular case, I'm going negative 2 on a number line is larger than negative 3. So I'm actually going from a larger to a smaller, and when I go from a larger to a smaller, I go to the right. So I'm going to go one way this way, and it's going to be 65 millimeters. So this way, this is just, again, a foolproof way to just do simple conversions where I'm moving the decimal point. If you already know how to do conversions, don't do it this way. Okay? And that's it.